Welcome to Hollywood Actions. In this video, we are going to take you on an extraordinary journey behind the golden curtain of classic Hollywood, where the glitz, the glamour, and the gossip often hid a darker, deeper truth. These are the golden age Hollywood stars who lived double lives, actors and actresses who kept major secrets from the public eye. Whether it was about their identities, private romances, political allegiances, or secret struggles. Now let's dive in. 1. Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson was the epitome of masculinity in 1950s and 60s cinema. With chiseled good looks and undeniable charm, he starred in romantic hits like Pillow Talk and Magnificent Obsession. But behind his public image was a reality known only to a select few. Rock Hudson was a closeted gay man in a time when homosexuality could destroy a career. Throughout his life, Hudson maintained a carefully constructed image. His studio arranged a sham marriage to Secretary Phyllis Gates to squash rumors. Friends and insiders kept quiet, and the press looked the other way. 2. Barbara Stanwyck. Barbara Stanwyck was one of the fiercest, most commanding women of Golden Age cinema. Known for roles in Double Indemnity and Stella Dallas, she built a reputation for portraying strong, independent women. But her personal life remained largely an enigma. Rumors about her sexuality persisted for decades. Although she married actor Robert Taylor, many believe it was a studio-arranged marriage. Off-screen, she was known to be intensely private, rarely photographed with romantic partners, male or female. Some speculate she had close, long-term relationships with women. 3. Montgomery Clift. Montgomery Clift was the ultimate method actor and one of Hollywood's brightest stars, with intense performances in A Place in the Sun and From Here to Eternity. He was also one of the first actors whose personal torment bled into his work. Clift lived a dual existence. While studios promoted him as a heartthrob, he was romantically involved with men behind closed doors. His closest relationships were kept secret, even as his addiction, depression, and guilt, partly from concealing his identity, worsened over the years. After a near-fatal car crash in 1956. 4. Marlene Dietrich. Marlene Dietrich's allure came from her unapologetic boldness. She wore men's suits, seduced both sexes, and dazzled in films like The Blue Angel and Shanghai Express. Yet, even with her open flirtation with androgyny, she lived a life filled with secret romances and political intrigue. While she had affairs with men like John Gilbert and Jean Gabin, she also had passionate liaisons with women, including writer Mercedes de Acosta. Dietrich's public stance against the Nazis also brought her into espionage territory. Her double life wasn't just about identity, it was also about danger. 5. Tab Hunter. Tab Hunter was every teenage girl's dream in the 1950s, thanks to films like Damn Yankeesan Battle Cry. But like many actors of the era, he had to hide who he really was, a gay man under contract with Warner Brothers. His studio orchestrated romances with Natalie Wood and Debbie Reynolds to keep up appearances. In truth, he had long-term relationships with men, including actor Anthony Perkins. Tab's life was dominated by fear of exposure, of losing roles, and of being blacklisted. It wasn't until decades later that he came out publicly in his memoir Tab Hunter Confidential. 6. Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy Dandridge was the first black woman nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress. But behind the elegance and talent seen in Carmen Jones was a woman battling racism, exploitation, and a lonely private world. Dandridge had affairs with white men, often studio executives, which she had to keep secret due to racial taboos. She also struggled financially and emotionally, especially after her daughter was born with severe brain damage. 7. Cary Grant. Cary Grant embodied charm and sophistication. He lit up screens in films like North by Northwest and An Affair to Remember. But his personal life has sparked debate for decades. He was married 5 times, all to women, but his relationships with fellow actor Randolph Scott and others suggest a hidden side. Grant and Scott shared a home for over a decade, and their friendship was unusually intimate for the time. Whether it was deep friendship or romantic love. 8. Jean Arthur. Jean Arthur was one of the most beloved comedic actresses of the 1930s and 1940s, starring in classics like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington and You Can't Take It With You. But her double life was that of a recluse. Arthur hated fame. She avoided interviews, loathed public appearances, and even walked away from Hollywood at the peak of her career. She lived quietly, teaching drama in later years, never fully revealing why she was so resistant to the spotlight she shined in. 9. Sal Mineo. Sal Mineo rose to fame as the sensitive, misunderstood Plato in Rebel Without a Cause. As an actor of Italian descent and a gay man, Mineo's life was riddled with secrecy. He couldn't be openly gay during his peak years, despite being deeply involved in LGBTQ+ circles. His career faltered when he came out to close friends and tried to break free from typecasting. Tragically, he was murdered in 1976 in what was initially assumed to be a hate crime. 10. Ramon Navarro. A silent film legend, Ramon Navarro starred in Ben-Hur, 1925, and became a major heartthrob. But behind the fame was a tormented man, battling both addiction and fear of being exposed as gay. His devout Catholic upbringing made his inner conflict worse. He tried to keep his relationships secret, but tabloids began to speculate. His tragic death, murdered by 2 men during a robbery, shocked the public and exposed just how vulnerable closeted stars were in that era. 11. Clifton Webb. Clifton Webb was best known for his refined roles in Laura and Cheaper by the Dozen. He lived with his mother for most of his life and never married. While rumors swirled about his affair, Webb never commented, nor did he court female attention. His carefully curated image as a cultured bachelor was both his shield and prison. 12. Greta Garbo. Garbo became legendary for her ethereal beauty and haunting performances. But after just 2 decades, she vanished from Hollywood, retreating into seclusion. Her rumored romantic entanglements with both men and women, including actress Mercedes de Acosta, remained unconfirmed. Garbo never married, gave few interviews, and kept journals that only hinted at her emotional struggles.